when the world around you feels unstable, when noise rises, when life seems to push you from all sides, there is a truth that Buddhism whispers gently. Calm is not found outside. Calm is something you awaken within. Take a slow breath. In Buddhism, chaos is not a sign that you are losing control. Chaos is a mirror, showing you the parts of yourself that are ready to grow, ready to let go, ready to awaken. Today, you and I will explore 5 Buddhist principles that help you stay centered when everything around you feels uncertain. These principles are ancient, but their power is deeply relevant to your life right now. As you listen, allow one idea to settle in your heart. You do not need the world to be peaceful in order to find peace. You only need to return to yourself. This is the beginning of that return. Let's step into the first principle. Before we dive into the hard truth, I want to invite you to be part of our growing community. If you are seeking a path to inner peace, click the subscribe button and turn on the bell. To set your intention for this video, type the word awareness in the comments. By doing this, you are telling your mind that you are ready to listen and transform. Chaos is often misunderstood. We tend to think it is a force working against us, something that threatens our stability, our security, our sense of control. But Buddhism teaches something radically different. Chaos is not here to destroy you. Chaos is here to awaken you. When life becomes turbulent, the mind reacts immediately. This shouldn't be happening. I need to escape this. I need things to go back to normal. Yet, what we call normal is often just familiar suffering. Patterns, attachments, illusions that we cling to because they feel safe. Chaos breaks those illusions. It shakes the pieces that were misaligned. It exposes the truths we avoided, the emotions we silenced, the changes we postponed. In Buddhist philosophy, chaos is not the collapse of your life. It is the collapse of what no longer serves your life. Think of a storm. The wind does not come to punish the tree. It comes to strengthen the roots. In the same way, every chaotic moment in your life has a silent purpose: to bring you back to yourself, to the part of you that is stronger, clearer, more awake than you imagined. So instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this moment trying to teach me?" In that shift, chaos loses its power to intimidate you and begins to guide you. One of the most transformative teachings in Buddhism is this: your suffering doesn't come from what happens outside, but from how the untrained mind reacts inside. The world can be loud. People can be unpredictable. Situations can shift in an instant. But the real turbulence begins when the mind attaches a story to that noise. A story of fear. A story of urgency. A story of control. A story of what-ifs. And suddenly, the chaos outside becomes chaos inside. But Buddhism invites you to step back, not to the noise, but to the observer behind it. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine this. Thoughts rise like clouds. Emotions pass like waves. Worries appear, then dissolve. None of them define you. None of them stay forever. You are the sky, not the clouds. You are the ocean, not the waves. When you observe your mind instead of reacting to it, something almost miraculous happens. The noise loses its grip. Fear loses its shape. Anxiety slows down. And a natural calm begins to rise from within. Because calm is not something you create. It is something that appears the moment you stop fighting your experience. This is why meditation is central in Buddhism. Not because it fixes life, but because it reveals the truth of your inner landscape. You begin to notice how your thoughts come, how they go, how they try to convince you that every moment is an emergency, and how none of it is ultimately you. When you observe the mind without judgment, you reclaim your power. You stop being pulled by the noise of the world, and start living from the stillness at the center of your being. Acceptance is not giving up. When life becomes overwhelming, the mind often believes it must fight, resist, or control every outcome. It whispers, "If I don't push harder, everything will fall apart. If I don't resist, I will lose." But Buddhism teaches a truth that feels almost counterintuitive. Acceptance is not weakness. Acceptance is clarity. Acceptance is inner strength. To accept a situation does not mean you approve of it. It does not mean you are giving up. It does not mean you stop trying. Acceptance simply means you stop suffering twice. Because resisting what already is creates a second layer of pain. A pain created not by the moment itself, but by the mind's refusal to let the moment be what it already is. Think of water flowing around a rock. The rock is reality, unchangeable in this moment. The water is the mind. If the water tries to push the rock out of the way, it creates turbulence. But when it flows around it, it remains peaceful and still reaches its destination. Acceptance is that flow. When you accept a moment of chaos, you are saying, "I may not like this situation, but I am strong enough to face it with clarity." And that clarity becomes your power. Because from acceptance comes wisdom. You see what can be changed, and what cannot. You see where to direct your energy, and where to let go. You see which battles belong to the ego, and which decisions arise from peace. Acceptance is the bridge between chaos and understanding, between resistance and freedom, between fear and awakening. When you stop fighting the moment, you begin to transform it. Breathe to return to the present. In moments of chaos, the mind travels everywhere. To the past, to imagined futures, to fears that haven't happened. It jumps, it trembles, it exaggerates, it warns. And in that constant movement, you lose yourself. But there is one doorway that always brings you back. Your breath. The breath is the anchor of Buddhist practice, not because it is mystical, but because it is real, immediate, unavoidable, and always here. Your breath doesn't belong to yesterday. It doesn't belong to tomorrow. It belongs only to now. And the moment you return to it, you return to yourself. Take a slow inhale. Feel how the air enters your body. Not rushing, not forcing, just arriving. And as you exhale, notice how the tension begins to loosen, how the mind softens, how the noise fades just a little. This is the power of conscious breathing. It interrupts overthinking. It disarms anxiety. It dismantles imaginary fears. It pulls you out of the storm and back into your center. When you breathe mindfully, you are reminding your body, I am safe. You are here. This moment is enough. And your nervous system listens. Buddhism teaches that the breath is the bridge between the body and the mind. When the breath becomes calm, the mind follows. When the breath becomes deep, the heart steady. When the breath becomes present, life becomes present. This is why even a single conscious breath can change everything. Because in that breath, chaos loses its authority, and your inner peace takes its rightful place. Impermanence will set you free. La impermanentia te libera. One of the most powerful and compassionate truths in Buddhism is this. Nothing lasts forever. Not your fear. Not your sadness. Not your confusion. Not even the chaos you're facing right now. Everything is in motion. Everything is shifting. Everything is temporary, and far from being frightening. This truth is meant to set you free, because suffering begins when the mind clings to the illusion of permanence, when it believes that the pain will last forever, that the situation will never change, that you are trapped in what is, with no escape. But look closely. Every storm has ended. Every wound has healed. Every emotion has passed through you like a visitor, not a resident. Impermanence is not a loss. It is liberation. It means you are not defined by this moment. You are not frozen in this chapter. You are not the chaos you are experiencing. You are the awareness watching it move, shift, transform, and eventually disappear. Buddhist teachings say that impermanence is the doorway to peace because it reminds us, what hurts today will soften, what feels heavy will lighten, what seems impossible will eventually shift. Just as winter becomes spring, night becomes morning, and every exhale becomes an inhale, this moment in your life will also evolve. When you embrace impermanence, you loosen your grip on fear. You open your heart to change, and you learn to move with life instead of against it. Impermanence is not the end of control. It is the beginning of freedom. Keep the flame of calm alive. In every moment of chaos, you have a choice. Not the choice to control the world, but the choice to return to the world within you. The principles you heard today are not ideas to remember. They are tools to live. Chaos is not your enemy. Your mind can be observed. Acceptance is strength. Your breath is your anchor, and impermanence is your freedom. When you let these truths settle in your heart, something begins to awaken. A quiet courage, a deeper presence, a steadier peace. Not a peace that depends on perfection, but a peace that grows even in the middle of the storm. Breathe. Return to yourself. Remember that calm is not found outside. Calm is something you cultivate from within. Carry these teachings into your day, into your decisions, into your challenges, and into every space where the world tries to shake you. Because the flame of calm is already inside you. You just have to keep it alive.